I still remember the exact sentence in that email. Your position has been eliminated as part of our transition to AI-enabled operations. I read it standing in my kitchen with my kids doing homework at the table behind me, and the first thing I thought about was not my resume. It was the mortgage and the insurance for my son and the retirement account I never got around to building because there was always something more urgent than the future. If you are over 50 and you have felt that exact drop in your stomach this year, I need you to hear something that almost nobody is saying out loud yet. In June of 2026, Ford quietly brought back more than 300 experienced engineers it had let go when automated quality systems could not catch the defects those engineers used to catch by hand. On the other side of the world, Commonwealth Bank of Australia cut 45 customer service jobs for an AI voice bot, and then reversed the decision when call volumes went up instead of down. These are not rumors. They are the leading edge of a labor market that bet enormous money on artificial intelligence replacing experienced workers, and is now finding out, one department at a time, that it bet wrong. This is the story of who is getting called back, why, and exactly what you need to be doing tonight if you want your name on that list. Here is why this is breaking into the open right now instead of staying buried in HR spreadsheets. On August 3rd of this year, a labor market briefing circulated across corporate America carrying one blunt headline. Companies are rehiring the workers they cut for artificial intelligence, and it is happening across technology, transportation, and even defense contracting, not just one struggling industry. Behind that headline sits research most executives would rather you never saw. A 2025 study out of MIT found that 95% of enterprise generative AI pilot programs are failing to deliver the return on investment their own leadership promised the board. Gartner surveyed more than 320 customer service leaders in October of 2025 and found that only 20% of them had actually reduced staffing because of AI, even though public announcements made it sound like nearly everyone had. The gap between what companies said in press releases and what companies actually did on the org chart is enormous, and it is the reason so many roles are quietly reopening now. Somebody signed off on a project that was supposed to replace a department. The technology could not finish the job alone. Now that same company needs the exact experience it just spent severance money to get rid of, and it needs it fast before a competitor hires that talent first. Let me walk you through what actually happened at Ford, because the details matter more than the headline. Ford had automated portions of its quality inspection process, replacing veteran engineers who could feel a half a degree of misalignment in a part just by running a hand across it. The automated system could not replicate that judgment. Defects that an experienced eye would have caught on the line were instead reaching customers, and by June of 2026, Ford had rehired more than 300 of those engineers to fix a quality problem the software alone could not solve. Commonwealth Bank of Australia tells the same story from a completely different angle. The bank cut 45 customer service positions and routed those calls to an AI voice bot, expecting shorter queues and lower costs. Instead, call volume increased because customers who could not get a real answer from the bot called back again and again until they reached a person, and the bank ended up reversing the layoffs to get ahead of the backlog it had created for itself. In both cases, the company did not lose money on the AI tool itself. It lost money on what the AI tool could not do, and it paid twice, once for the technology, and again to bring back the very people it had just let go. If one company became the public face of this entire trend, it is Klarna. The buy now, pay later company had publicly claimed its AI assistant could handle the workload of roughly 700 customer service agents on its own, and for a while that claim traveled everywhere as proof that artificial intelligence had already solved customer service for good. It became the example every other executive pointed to in board meetings when justifying their own AI-driven cuts. Then the company's own leadership admitted something different happened in practice. Service quality declined enough that Klarna had to walk the strategy back and rebuild a real human support structure, hiring people to do the exact work the AI had been trusted to handle alone. The company that every other CEO used to justify the layoffs was, in its own words, the one quietly proving the strategy could fail. That reversal matters far beyond one fintech company because it removed the best excuse for standing pat. If Klarna could not fully replace experienced customer support staff with AI after building its whole public narrative around doing exactly that, the pressure on every other company running the same experiment quietly went up. Executives who used Klarna as their proof point suddenly needed a new one, and most of them did not have one ready. Now, let me give you the numbers behind these individual stories, because Ford and Klarna are not outliers. A Robert Half survey of more than 2,000 hiring managers found that 32% of them had eliminated a role primarily because of AI and later rehired for that same position or something close to it. Broken down by department, finance led at 44%, human resources came in at 35%, and technology itself sat at 32%. Meaning the very departments building these AI systems were rehiring at nearly the same rate as everyone else. Separately, research firm OrgView found that 39% of business leaders had made employees redundant specifically because of AI, and 55% of that same group later admitted the decision was the wrong one. Forrester's own predictions research for 2026 put a similar number on it, reporting that 55% of employers who made AI attributed layoffs already regret the decision, and that more than a third of that group has already rehired over half the people they let go. Gartner is now forecasting that half of all AI-driven customer service layoffs industry-wide will be reversed by 2027. None of these are activist groups with an agenda against artificial intelligence. They are the same research and staffing firms corporations pay to tell them the truth about their own workforce. Here is the part that is specific to you and me, and I am not going to soften it. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that in July, 23.4% of unemployed workers between the ages of 16 and 54 had been out of work for 27 weeks or longer. For workers 55 and older, that same long-term unemployment figure was 28.3%, meaningfully higher. When a company reverses an AI layoff, it does not always call back the exact same person on the exact same day. Forrester describes an 18-month window before most of these reversals fully play out, and some of those returning roles come back offshore or as contract work or at a lower salary than before. That is not the hopeful headline, but it is the honest one, and pretending otherwise would waste your time. What it does mean is that the window most companies open for their own rehire searches favors people who already know the job, already know the systems, and can be productive again immediately without months of retraining. That is exactly the profile of an experienced worker over 50. The same judgment and pattern recognition that took decades to build, the kind no AI model has replicated yet, is precisely the piece of the job that Ford, Commonwealth Bank, and Klarna all discovered their automated systems could not do. So here's what I want you to actually do tonight, not someday. First, if you were laid off in the last year and you left on decent terms, send one short message to your old manager or your old HR contact this week. Not a demand, just a simple line letting them know you are available if the team ever needs the help back. Companies running these rehire searches often start with people they already trust before they ever post a public listing. Second, rewrite your resume around the specific gap these companies are now naming publicly. Do not just list your old job duties. Name the judgment calls, the quality catches, the ethical calls, and the moments you stopped a costly mistake before it happened, because that is precisely the language showing up in every one of these reports. Third, start tracking your former employer and its direct competitors for earnings calls and layoff reversal news the same way a recruiter would, because Robert Half's own research shows this wave is still accelerating, not slowing down. And fourth, if you get that call, do not assume it means going back to exactly what you had before. Negotiate like the leverage has shifted, because in a real sense, it has. The people getting rehired right now are being brought back specifically because a machine already tried the job and could not finish it. That is not a consolation prize. That is proof of exactly what you are worth.